How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Gamer Back podcast. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing off my Pokemon Go account. Um, Before I get into it, I want to preface with a few things, mostly on my play style and the way I prefer to play a lot of games, if I'm being honest. Um, Basically, in Pokemon Go, I am a day one player. I've been playing since the game came out. Not completely consistently, on and off, but lately it's been something I've very been big into. Almost has become a hobby of mine. I would say it is a hobby of mine actually because I do play it every day. I do find myself going on walks just to play um, Pokemon Go and catch a Pokemon or go do a raid or use an incense or whatever, right? I do attend live events and whatnot. Um, so if you're watching this video and you are, you know, looking at your account and you're saying, "Oh, my account's not like that. My account is different." There's a lot of reasons why, and it's not even playstyle dependent. It could be dependent on your location, on your free time, and everything in between. Um, But yeah, so I've been playing for a long time. I also play in New York City, which is the probably I'd assume the best place in the United States, probably North America in general, to be playing Pokemon Go. It has very high spawn density, very high Pokestop density. It has a plethora of communities for raiding, catching, battling, even just I have friends in that live close to me that play that I can go walk to their apartment or house and say, hey, let's go play Pokemon Go right now. Let's go do a raid. So it just the resources I have available to me um, are like the perfect storm. I've been playing for a long time, so I have an account with lots of resources already built up. I have the community around me to be able to play every single event, to do every single raid that I want to do, and most importantly, I just have the free time. You know, I have a lot of time to go on walks and enjoy the outdoors. And even if I'm not playing Pokemon Go, I will have I've got this my auto catcher that also does a lot of work for me. So yeah, there's that. And so yeah, we'll get into my account right here. As you can see, well, to preface this, I have to hold my phone very, very still in order to record my phone and myself at the same time. Because if it gets unplugged, the whole recording thing gets messed up. So if it does get messed up, I apologize and I will probably make a cut. And besides that, we'll take a look at my account stats really quickly before I get into my actual Pokemon collection and some other stuff. But getting right into it, I'm level 48. I just hit level 48 about a week and a half ago, which was pretty awesome. And one of my main goals is to hit level 50 by the end of this upcoming August 2025. So, really, the beginning of September 2025 is when I want to hit level 50. And so far, I think I'm on track. I've been earning a lot of XP every day. I get about 2 million a week right now, without um, that's without friendship bonuses factored in where I send my gifts every day, open gifts every day. So I have a lot of best friends. So not counting that, I get about 2 million a week. Not counting special events, I get 2 million a week. So I should be on track to hit level 50, end of August, early September, which I'm pretty excited for. And actually, before I move on, I'd also like to talk about my play style. I consider myself a goal-oriented person in general, but that factors into how I play this game. I know a lot of people, they'll play Pokemon Go for a little while and then they'll say, oh, there's nothing really anything to do. They did all the raids, they're not excited for anything, and they'll come back for just the next big release. And that's perfectly fine. I respect it. I'm cool with it. Even that's how most of my friends play. Um, but that's just not really how I like to view things. And more so, I would like to say like set a goal for myself that isn't within the game itself, that isn't, a research task, that isn't a level up requirement, that isn't just XP. So even though I have level 50 to work towards, I have a list of, so many different things that I want to do at the moment. For example, I'm working on getting a golden go, which, if you don't know, is to evolve a Gimmighoul, you need to have 999 golden coins, and you do that by sending postcards to your Switch and working up to a golden lore module, which obviously that's not super engaging. Um, but that's just one example. Another example, I'm trying to get shiny Galarian bird. So every day I like to go on at least a 15-minute walk, use my daily incense, see if I get a Galarian bird, and if it's shiny, lucky me. And that's just in general for every single event, every raid day, every go fest. I like to make something for myself. Like last Unova tour, a goal of mine was to do enough raids to max out 2 Kirams, and it's not luck based. It's not even really skill based. It's just something that I know if I put my nose to it, and obviously the money to buy the raid passes, um, I will achieve this goal if I have the time and I focus and whatever, and everything else is supplemental. I don't like to set these goals as like I want to catch shundo every single event. That's just unrealistic. Obviously, it's always in the back of my head to catch something cool and rare and special, but I like to have something more number based. Maybe if it's community, I say I want to catch 25 shinies, and I'm not going to be bent if I don't hit that goal because 25 shinies is a lot. What am I going to do with that many? But it's just a fun thing to work towards for the day. And then I got all my friends in on it, and then all of a sudden it's a competition. We have all five, six of us all trying to get okay, who can get the most shiny at the end of the day? It just makes everything more fun for everybody. Um, that's how I like to play this game. Not so much just amassing shinies, amassing the strongest Pokemon. I like to take it step by step. So, the next thing that's coming up is Max Battle Day for Entei. And so for that day, I'm going to say, oh, whoever catches the highest CP Entei between me and my friends that I'm going to be playing with, we win. What are the sometimes you either win bragging rights or sometimes we'll be like, okay, since I set the challenge, I'll trade you a shiny Pokemon, or I'll do this for whatever, so it's just a small way of tricking myself into continually playing the game, even if because there's oftentimes where there is nothing to do that the game just doesn't provide any quests at the moment. There's no engaging events going on. The spawns are dry. So in my mind, I got to do something, whether it's just for a day. Hey, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna use my incense, and I'm gonna get 100 excellent throws just on one walk. I can walk for an hour and get 100 excellent throws. And if I don't hit it, whatever. But I still tried. I still got the XP. I still got the catches. And who knows? Maybe I'll find a shiny along the way. Maybe I'll find a rare spawn along the way. And that's kind of just my mindset. I think it's a relatively healthy mindset to have too, because I see a lot of people on the internet, and they say, "Oh, I spent $100 and I didn't get the shiny I wanted. Oh, I bought the ticket and I didn't get anything." It's like if it's luck based, if it's a random number generated, don't expect it. Set your goals to be realistic, and whatever comes along the way comes along the way. If your goal is to catch a shiny, then you have to make it attainable. I can't go out every day and say I want to catch this specific shiny this day with this ticket, whatever. But maybe you want to say I want to catch 5 shinies for a major event. That's a good goal to have. But I want to say, oh, I want the rarest shiny possible with the best stats possible every single time. You out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Anyway, get hydrated really quickly because that's important. Mm. Especially when you're playing Pokemon Go. You could be out for hours. Get dehydrated is no good. So, like I said, let's get back into this account. Level 48, been playing for a pretty long time, and I actually am still not level 50. Like I said, I'm a day one player, and I'm only, for a day one player who plays consistently, level 48 is not exactly impressive. At least I don't think so. But I'm on my way to 50. Let's get into my account stacks. Distance walk, 11,000 kilometers, a little over. Um, I'm sure it'd be more because obviously there are long periods of time where I was not playing Pokemon Go, so I didn't have Adventure Sync on. I was just uninstalled from my phone. Um, but I do a lot of walking. I would even consider walking on its own a hobby of mine, which obviously plays into the part of me playing so much Pokemon Go because it's something that I can always do while I'm walking, which is something I already love. Pokemon caught, I'm a little over 100,000. I just hit that 100,000 point maybe a month and a half ago. right around Novator actually. And I actually it lined up pretty well with my first shundo. I got my first shundo right under 100,000 Pokemon caught, so it's a good cutoff right there. Pokestops visited almost 100,000, which is pretty cool. So neck and neck almost. Total XP is 123 million. That's a lot. That's a lot of XP. That just goes to show how much XP is between level 40 and 50 compared to level 0 and 40. You know, um, but yeah. And my start date is July 6th, 2016, which actually I think is before day one technically, um, because I think day one in the United States was July 7th, and just because of how time zones work, some places got it earlier. I think it was either Australia or New Zealand or something. They got it before everyone else, and like it slowly rolled out time zone to time zone. But because they got it on July 7th, it was still July 6th here, and someone put the APK on the internet, and I got it July 6th. And I remember I was actually in New Jersey, and I installed it on my phone, and I went out that night with a friend. I actually intentionally went out to play Pokemon Go. I was like, "Hey, you want to go ride our bikes around the neighborhood?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure." And I'm riding my bike and playing Pokemon at the same time. And she's looking at me. She's like, "What are you playing? What is this? Like, why are you on your phone?" I'm like, "I'm playing Pokemon." And she's like, "Whatever, man." I'm like, "What? I'm sure everyone's gonna be playing this in a week." And in a week, that's when the Pokemania started. So I was a little bit ahead of the curve. Um, my adventure or my weekly progress, whatever. So far this week, I've walked 25 kilometers. That can range anywhere between 50 and 100. Um, right now, I don't have a job. Just saying. So that's why another part of my free time. But when I do have a job, my last job was in Times Square, so you know, just having my auto catcher on at work, and I was a restaurant supervisor manager. I was on my feet all day. I was constantly walking, and the restaurant was huge. It was a whole city block, so I was back and forth, always catching Pokemon, spinning Pokestops, and getting my steps in. So when I work, it was even going up to 150 kilometers a week. I was just working. I was walking that much, and on my free time, I do a lot of walking, as I've said a billion times. So on a bad week, I'm still getting 50 kilometers walked. On a good week, it can go up to around 100. And if I'm when I was working, it would be what much higher than that if I'm being completely honest. Um, let's get down to we can actually check out my routes. We can sort by points, trips. I've got one route that I have at the gold level, which is basically the route that goes. I essentially walk it every day, almost every day, because it goes from my house to my gym, not my Pokemon gym, like my athletic gym. And it is also on the way to my subway stop that I take everywhere. It's the only subway stop in, we have one line in my neighborhood, and that's the only way I walk it. So I essentially, if I'm going anywhere, I'm walking this route. If I'm going to the gym, I'm walking this route. If I'm coming back from anywhere that I took the train, I'm walking this route. If I'm coming back from the gym, I'm walking this route. Hell, if I'm walking up just to do anything up, I was saying up the avenues. I live on essentially First Avenue and then Second Avenue, Third Avenue. So this route goes up from First Avenue to Third Avenue. If I'm doing anything up there, I'm walking this route. Um, excuse my hydration. Once again, talking gets me dry. But yeah, I walk a lot of routes. Even though I think the route system needs a massive overhaul, but you get a lot of underrated rewards from routes. You can get Rare Candy XL. You can get elite fast TMs, two things that are considered premium items in this game. You can get for free just by walking routes, and the higher the route level, the higher chance you have of getting those items. So, that's really, really useful to me as someone who does a lot of powering up of Pokemon that you can't exactly raid for, aka Mythicals or Zygarde or whatever. It's super helpful to get those Rare Candy XLs, and even those Elite Fast TMs when they do come in handy every so often. But yeah, I've also created a ton of routes, not a ton, 13. But all over my neighborhood, I've got routes. Even a few in the city, I've got routes. In the city, aka Manhattan, I live in Brooklyn, so there's that. Um, which is still a part of New York City. In case you're watching this and you have no idea about New York City, Brooklyn is a borough. So the city is Manhattan. Brooklyn is kind of like not as dense, but it's still the city. Anywho, that's my routes, and we can go down now to gyms. See how many gyms I've got max level. I've got a bunch because gyms have been around since day one. I think this level system has been around since day one as well. So I've got quite a few of gold level gyms, which are also very important because every time you spin a gold level gym, you get more potions, more Pokeballs, more rewards in general, better rewards. So you get hyper potions, you get Ultra Balls instead of the standard Pokeball and regular potion. And I think you can get max revives. Not 100% sure, but basically all the gyms around me are gold. On my old job, all the I had two gyms that I can reach from my old job. Both of those were gold. And at my old college campus, all the ones around there were gold. So anytime I walked anywhere that I frequently walked, I was spinning gold gyms. Super helpful, super underrated. You get gold gyms very easily too. People think it's just doing battles and defending time. Defending time is probably the easiest way, especially if you're in a rural neighborhood. You can stick your Pokemon in a gym, don't worry about it for a long time. You just rack up the points. What I would suggest is feeding berries. You can feed 10 berries, I believe, every hour. Maybe less, actually. Maybe it's every half an hour um, to each six Pokemon, and that is 15 points right there. So you can just rack up those points by spamming the berries. I know berries take a lot of inventory clutter too. So, just spam berries on Pokemon and gyms and build up those gold gyms as well. Uh, all right, my medals. I've got a bunch of event medals here for us to go through, and I can to also talk about all the events that I've been a part of and attended, because I've attended a handful of in-person events, which are always very fun. Verizon, that's nothing special. Okay, this is my first Gold Go Fest, 2021 Go Fest. I think 2020 was the first global one because of the pandemic, which I wasn't playing at the time, so I didn't get to uh, play that one or pay for that one. Um, and I remember this Go Fest pretty fondly. I think it was 2 days, and one day was catching and one day was raiding. Um, but yeah, I don't got much to say about this one because it's just so long ago. When I was a casual, filthy casual. This was pretty cool. I got this from the trading card game, also where I got this Team Mystic pin right here. GoFest 2022, I also played, but once again, I don't really have like super fond memories of it. This is probably the first event where I played super, super hard for, where I like locked in and focused and just took the whole day to only play Pokemon Go. That being Go Tour Johto. Um, Honestly, a really fun, a really awesome event. Um, I got a lot. I remember I caught a ton of shinies. I got both Apex, Ho-Oh, and Lugia, and I got the shiny Gyarados they gave out for free. I saw a bunch of wild legendary Pokemon. I didn't catch any. My friend caught one though, wild shiny Entei, which was super super cool for them. Yeah, I have very fond memories of Johto Tour. Oh, whoops. I'm gonna close out of that. Verizon, blah blah blah. Okay, next event that I played, I didn't play. It seems like I did not get to play. Oh, I did, right? Okay, this is Go Fest. That's that. So that means, yeah, the next event was Go Tour Hoenn, which also I played at college. I played Go Tour at college upstate. College campuses, even though it was upstate, it was a very rural community. College campus had a well, I was lucky. My college campus is large with a large community and player base of Pokemon Go, and all my close friends played. So once again, I got to play Go Tour Home with a bunch of people. We did a lot of raids. I actually just retired the Groudon that one of my friends traded me from this day because we traded it, and I think we had a lucky trade. So we both traded Groudons to each other, and I just retired my friend's Groudon from Hoenn Tour because I just got a better one finally. Um, yeah, another cool event. Go to Sinnoh. I skipped out on the 2023 Go Fest because this was around the time they started nerfing remote raids, and I started getting really unhappy with the state of the game. So I basically quit for like right around the summer. Oh, and this was the Go tour that was in New York City, the first one in New York City. And I remember for a long time for Go tour, I was like, ah, they got to bring it to New York. They got to bring it to New York. New York's the perfect location. And then I quit the game, and they announced it for New York. And I was like, oh man, this sucks. But I was like, I'm not even. I don't care. I'm not going to install. I felt like betrayed by the game, basically. And this is also when I had a different mindset, when I wasn't really goal oriented, and I was more focused on what the game was doing for me, not what I could make the game do for me, if that makes sense. Um, but yeah, so I skipped out on playing GoFest 2023, but I still actually went in person. Um, just because I did was in my mind, I was like, I still want to be there. I wanted it so bad to come to New York that even though if I wasn't going to play, I was like, I want to go and experience it and hang out with people. And my friends that were playing, some of them were there, so I just walked around with them. There's also a YouTube meetup that I want to go to, a YouTuber. I didn't even really watch them. I heard of them. They were doing a meetup for Pokemon Black and White Fun Fest missions. So I went there and I hung out with that group. And it was honestly a lot of fun. And it got me a little bit. The FOMO. I was like, I kind of wish I was playing Pokemon Go. I'm here, but I didn't. I just didn't bite. And enough time went. And then something. I did end up reinstall. Oh, I remember why I reinstalled the game. I believe they re-released the Master Quest line for the Shiny Mew, and I reinstalled the game and I bought it just for like a backup. I was like, if I ever do play the game again, I'm gonna want this Mew. So I reinstalled, bought the quest, and I still didn't play the game for a while, but I had it on my phone. And I think I went back to school the next semester and I just started slowly playing it again because my friends there were playing it and yada yada. And so then eventually I caved and I bought the ticket for Go Tour Sinnoh. And I remember I got it super last minute. I actually think I got it on the second day because it was a 2 day event. I didn't even play the first day. Either that or I bought it like halfway through the event. I don't remember. I bought it late and I scrambled to do a couple raids and I ended up actually with a shiny Origin Palkia and Dialga just from a couple raids, the handful that I did do. But I wish I played a little bit more for this event. Another thing that happened, me and my roommate, we found a wild Mesprit, which is really cool, and it was shiny for the both of us, which is like super out of the ordinary for both people to find a wild legendary and it be shiny. And what happened? Something tragic happened. My game crashed, and when I reloaded the game, the Mesprit was gone, and I didn't get to catch it, but she caught it. And it's like one of my like most sour moments that I'm like I need to redeem myself. Um, Thankfully, I have a friend back home now that is willing to trade me a shiny Mesprit, so it seems like I will get my redemption soon. Let's see what's next. All right, here we are, Go Fest 2024, and this is essentially the start of when something clicked in my mind, right? And I really wanted to. Well, it actually wasn't this. We'll start from the beginning, right? I made a new friend at a art festival, art fair that my other friend. It is very complicated. I met somebody, and then we hung out afterwards, and they were like, "Oh, you play Pokemon Go?" That's like so cool. And they were telling me, "Oh, I'm going to Go Fest this year. You should totally come." With her friends and her group, she's like, "I've got a group. They'd totally love to have you." And I was saying to myself, I know it's in New York, but I kind of don't really care that much. I only play like here and there. And she kept like egging me on. She's like, "No, no, you gotta come. You gotta play with us." And I was like, fine, I'll give. And it was the day before Go Fest that I bought my ticket, and I essentially met up with this group of people that I had never met before in my life, besides one of them, and they were awesome. And like I'm still friends with most of them to this day. And like right off the bat, I was feeling that sense of community again, that sense of like I belong with a group of people doing something, an activity together. And I still was like, I'm more here for the environment, for the experience, not really for the game. just like last year, how I went and I was like, I just enjoyed the atmosphere. But then we got off the train. I think we were on the A or C going uptown because of Randall's Island Park. I got off the train and I'm like, guys, let's do a raid because there's a Necrozma raid right off the train stop, right when we got not even at the park yet. And we all jumped in it. We all did it. We all beat it. We caught the Necrozma. And I checked my stats and it was a 4 star. The first Necrozma I did was perfect. And then something clicked in my mind. I said, I need to max out this Necrozma. I need to max out this Necrozma. Which was like that was that was the first goal that I set. I was like, I like we'll pay for the raid passes. I'm down to this Go Fest max out the Necrozma, and I grinded out the Necrozma raids. And at the actually by the end of this one, I didn't do it. I didn't max it out. I had to wait for Global Go Fest to go back and do more Necrozma raids to max it out. But I don't regret it at all. Um, I'll actually get there's another thing that makes the Necrozma really special too that I'll get into later. But it was that kind of experience of like the community was just so welcoming. And even if it was a friend group, not so much a community at first, that they were so welcoming and so kind, and it was so cool that like hooked me in. And then catching the crows when it started, reeling me in even quicker. And then going to the event and enjoying myself was just so much fun. So yeah, GoFest 2024 was super super awesome, and I can't wait for this year's. This is my Go Wild Area medal. This was the first event that I played with my girlfriend because we met. Me and my girlfriend started going out August, like late August, 2024. So we didn't get to play Go Fest together. But when we did meet, she actually already did play Pokemon Go. Once again, pretty casually. But now I've got her really much into it. But Go Wild Area is really special to me because it was the first event that my girlfriend and I played together. Um, yeah, and actually we played this event, and then we had to run home from the city and drove. I think we drove to Long Island to go to a wrestling show. It was such a chaotic day. It was so fun. But a lot of cool catches I'll get into from this event. That because this is when I was playing hardcore, so I have a lot of nice stuff to show off. I'm gonna go all there, and then here we go. This is another fun one. Um, this is Go Tour Unova Los Angeles. You're saying, how'd you go to Los Angeles? You're from New York. I went to Los Angeles. That's right, I did do it. Believe it or not, New Yorkers can go to Los Angeles. Basically, me and my girlfriend were like, we want to go on a vacation somewhere, and we wanted to go somewhere West Coast. We knew that. We weren't sure where. And then they announced um, Go Fest or Go Tour would be in LA again. And I was like, you know what? What if we just went to California? And we, we did our vacation things, and we also went down to LA for a day, and then do the Go Fest. And that's what we did. So originally we were going to stay in Los Angeles, but then all the wildfires ended up happening, and our Airbnb got it wasn't affected by the fire, but it got canceled or whatever. I don't really remember. So we're like, we're going to stay in like not Northern California, but it was about 2 hours away from or like north of LA. We stayed in Ojai Valley. We had an amazing time, and then we drove down to Pasadena for Unova Tour where we once again had an amazing, wonderful time, and it was super fun. So that's another experience I'm super, super grateful for. So there's a bunch of there we go, there we go, there we go. Okay, and this is the global version, which I did play again. Once again, I played with my friends that I went to Go Fest with, and we had a lot of fun. We basically played in Central Park the whole time. Did a ton of raids. We all got our shinies that we wanted. And yeah, I think that's the last medal for events. And then here's the Elite Collector medal, which is complete collection challenges. I've got 115 of those done. I don't know. I'm not really sure if that's an impressive number or not. But these date back all the way back to 2021. Spring and spring 2021 collection. That's pretty cool at that event. Well, let's see the date on that actually. 4/6. So yeah, that was actually about exactly 4 years ago. Pretty cool. But yeah, and then my platinum medals, my walker or jogger, I've got that. I've got Kanto decks, evolutions, right? No, collector, eggs hatch, Pokestops, Pikachu medal, Johto medal, gym defender, field research. I've got basically all the big ones, all the easy ones. I've got my Pavilion medal, which I don't know how I messed this up. I have so at some point I had every single scatterbug, but now that I go back and check my collection, I'm actually missing a few. Meaning I deleted them by accident. Whoopsie. I've also got the 200 party challenges because this is pretty easy. Me and my girlfriend play all the time together. We're constantly in a party, so we knock these out every single day, basically. I've got my XXL medal, my route medal, do a lot of routes. Raid expert. Oh, I just got this Mega Evolution one recently. That was pretty fun. The lore module one is another one I want to speak about. The picnicker one. Uh, this is super easy for me to do in New York City. So I mean, for me, I don't think I got this in one try. I got this in a couple tries. My girlfriend, right before Community Day, we were at Bryant Park, which is basically the best place to play in the city for spawns specifically. Right before Community Day started, she somehow managed to get a lure down right before Community Day. Because like if you've ever played in Bryant Park, let me picture it for you. Lures 24/7. You cannot go there. There will not be a lure. There's always lures there. But somehow there was a split second where there wasn't a lure module active, and my girlfriend got a lure up. She got this medal done with one lure module. One lure module, platinum. I was amazed at that. I was like, I don't even know how you managed to get the lore module down, but the fact that it platinumed in one module, ridiculous. Anyway, my gold medals, I'm still working a lot of these. This big Magikarp one is probably the one I want to get the most because I really like Magikarp and Gyarados. But besides that, nothing. I'm just generally, I like completing them, but there's none I'm focusing on at the moment. I'm pretty close to getting the Platinum XXS medal, so that'll probably be the next one I get. Maybe the Evolution one. No, I'm still a little far off from that. But yeah, and then I have Platinum Gold type medals too. Now let's see. I've got a checklist. Let me pull it up. Um, right. All right. Let's move on to my Pokedex next. So I consider my Pokedex pretty good. I've got 867. I believe there's about 892 or 3 in the game as of today. Tomorrow is when Applin releases, so there'll be a little bit more. But I'm, give or take, I'm about 30 Pokemon off from a complete Pokedex in this game. I have my Kanto Dex complete, my Johto Dex complete. Hoenn, I'm only missing Relincant. Somehow, I'm like, I beat myself over. The other thing I beat myself up about, somehow, I played the entirety of Hoenn Tour, and I did not catch a Relincant. I didn't do a raid for a Relincant. I don't know, whatever. But once again, it'll come back. So I'm not crazy about like I need someone to trade me a Relincant. I need to go find a Relincant. It's not that important to me, especially because I have all the platinum medals that I need to level up. Because there's a level up requirement that has you need to have 35 platinum medals. I've got like 40 something. Sinnoh, I'm missing a handful. Unova, I'm only missing Volcarona and Keldeo. Kalos, I'm missing a couple. Alola, I'm missing a couple. Alola's probably the one that I am most likely to catch up on because I'm missing a couple Ultra Beasts that have been in raids, and I think like Tapu Bulu and Tapu Fini I'm both missing. Most of the ones I'm missing in general actually are regional Pokemon. I'm pretty sure the only two like raid Pokemon are. Let's check actually. Let's go to Alola. I don't know why I'm talking when I can just look at it. Okay, I'm missing. Oh wait, I have all the Tapus. See, I'm missing an Ultra Beast. What goes between? Okay, Celesteela, which I think I don't know if it's had a global raid release or not, or if it's a regional. But I'm missing Celesteela, and I don't know what goes after Necrozma. Is it Magearna? I think it's Magearna. Yeah, it's probably Magearna. So I'm actually really only missing Stack Attacker from Global Raid or Stack Attacker, Celesteela from raid releases. That might be the only raid exclusive Pokemon that I don't have. Besides that, I'm mostly missing regional Pokemon or Pokemon that have really weird evolution requirements. Like I know I'm missing. Actually, I don't know if Crabominable has a weird evolution method. Let's check. Oh, I think it's a lore. It's a lore module, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. So things that have special evolution requirements that I just haven't gone around to, I'm missing. And regionals is basically it, and then Celesteela for my Pokedex. Um, Yeah, and these guys also like that has a weird evolution requirement, that has a weird evolution requirement, and Basculegion is not in the game yet. So like, I'm on top of my stuff. Don't think I'm not. Also, Basculegion is my favorite Pokemon. I've got my plushie of him right up on my shelf there. But yeah, that's my Pokedex. I don't think we got to get into much more. My shiny dex isn't accurate because I have caught shinies before this shiny dex was even implemented. Same with my Lucky, my XXL dex. I don't really care about. Same with this. My Gdex dex is completely caught up. I do have every single max Pokemon, which we'll get to in a second. And my Mega Dex is 42. I think there's 44 released. I think I'm only missing Slowbro and Alakazam. I need both of those to come back around soon, and I'll have that finished up. Shadow 244. If people do care about this, I'll just show it. Purified 181. And my 4 star, which also isn't accurate because I have 4 stars that date before they even track this, but it's 106 currently. Let me turn my auto catcher on there. All right, next up I have my Stardust count. Let's see. I don't even know what my Stardust count is off the top of my head. You know what? Actually, though, I also want to show off my bag space before I get into that. I've got 4,400 bag space, which I think it's about halfway. I think the max is 8,000 something or maybe 9,000 now. Same with the Pokemon storage is about 8,000, 9,000. So I have a good amount of bag space to work with. I prefer to keep majority Pokeballs and Ultra Balls, just because my auto catcher runs off Pokeballs, and then I throw a lot of Ultra Balls. Great Balls I'll keep on hand. Not too many of them though, just in case, basically. My berry situation is a bit messed up at the moment because one day when I was going and deleting some berries, I accidentally deleted. I had 300 golden raspberries and I deleted them all. But we're working that back up. Hopefully by GoFest I'll have about 100 to work with. And let's see. I've got 2 Master Balls. I've had 3. I've used 1. We'll get to what I've used that on soon. I think there's been 4 released in the game, so I only really missed 1 Master Ball release. And as for like other premium items, I've got a Max Mushroom that I've never used. I've got 140 rare candies, and I've got 60 rare candies XL at the moment. Some Max Barlocal packs. Yeah, nothing special to see here really. My Zargard cube, which I've got 183 in the bank right now. That's quite a bit. As you can see, I got a lot of Elite Fast TMs just because I get a bunch from routes. Elite Charge TM, not so much, but those are also important to have. Evolution items, and then I've got Gimme Go coins. So that's my bag. Now we can get into my Stardust count. Let's look at my right here. I've got 4,100,000. That's a good amount. It's nothing special once again, to me at least. There are people that are like, oh man, like that's a lot. I use Stardust a lot, and I get Stardust a lot. I do a lot of trades with my girlfriend. I do a lot of lucky trades with my friends for shinies, dex entries, and stuff. And I do a lot of powering up. So on average, a week, I'd say I use a couple 100,000 Stardust, and I get that back essentially. So I'm always hovering around that 4 million mark until there's an event that gives boosted Stardust for me to totally just rake it in and get my number like a little bit higher again. But for the most part, it stays balanced. Now let me show off my top 9 in my box that I've got going on here. First up, I've got my 2 Kirums, Kirim Black and Kirim White. Kirim Black is my favorite legendary Pokemon, so of course I had to max them both out. They're both lucky and shiny. This is my Ordinary Form Palkia. I grinded pretty hard for during the Go Wild area event. I really wanted one because it has a very strong dual purpose for PvP and raids. It has been outclassed for raids, but it's still super usable. Um, ah, Here is probably I think it might be my favorite Pokemon that I have. Is my Decimated Necrozma I told you about. It is a 4 star. And if you saw right there, let's tap on him again. He's got the Brooklyn Bridge background. I love that background. That background is amazing. I don't think it's. I think it's better than the 2023 background. I think it will be better than the 2026 background. Because this visual, especially with Duskmane himself, kind of matching the colors and the theming of like steel, is just perfect. Absolutely perfect. When I caught him, all I paid attention to was that. the 4 star, right? And I didn't even at first clock that he had a background because I had been not playing for so long. I didn't even know that backgrounds were a thing. I went back and I found out backgrounds were introduced for the Hoenn tour. By the time I didn't even know it because it was only for the in-person one. So I didn't even know the backgrounds were a thing. So it just I'm not sure. It might have been guaranteed background on your first raid or whatever. But either way, to get the 4 star with the background and the Brooklyn Bridge, my favorite bridge, the bridge that is named after where I live, super special. And also, it's caught on 7/6, which is my account anniversary. So it's like there's so much going on in this Pokemon that makes him super super special, and I can't wait to turn him into an Ultra Necrozma whenever that might happen. You know, so love this guy. And next up is my Kyogre, which is Lucky Shiny, also traded by my girlfriend. I've got Puff the Magic Dragon here. He's an old school guy from 2018, and he's still up there in CP. He's still hanging, holding it down. Next up is a crazy one. This is a sight to behold right here. Complete level 50 best buddied Zygarde, and you ready for this one? 98%. I when I caught this guy, I felt an obligation to do all this, to complete him, to power him up. I was like, so many people, I saw so many of my friends catch their Zygardes that were 10, 10, 10, 10, 12, 10, had terrible stats. And I somehow caught a good one. I was like, for justice, I think I just have to max him out and like turn him into a complete Zygarde. So it took forever. It took so long. I walked him as my buddy. I was farming rare candy XLs, and I was doing routes every day, trying to get my 3 cells every single day. I'd say I probably started in August and ended in December. So um, we'll say halfway through August, halfway through December is 1 month. So September, October, November. So it took 4 months of playing every single day, grinding. This is not, a casual turn your game on and do it for a couple minutes. This is a dedication, I'd say. So I'm quite proud of my complete Zygarde. If it had the 100%, that'd be even better. But like I said, this is like still another one of my favorite Pokemon on my account. And this guy, he's in my top nine. Yeah, we're still in my top nine. Is Monster Zero. He's just a 4 star Hydreigon. And this guy, he's stuck at a gym at my grandparents' house, actually. But this is my level 50 4 star Melmetal. Melton's one of my favorite mythical Pokemon. And I was playing really, really hard. Once again, I was using my Melton boxes as frequently as possible to get the 4 star. We can actually check how many Meltons I have caught/seen until I got the 4 star. 2,618 seen, 1,570 caught, which is probably actually under odds, like a good amount. So I'm very lucky. I actually had the shiny at some point, and I transferred it to my Switch because I wanted the shiny Dex entry. From Melmetal, I evolved it, then I transferred it on my Switch. So I don't have my shiny Melmetal anymore. He is living comfortably in my Pokemon Sword game, though. Don't worry. Excuse me. All right, what is next up on my list? My best buddy count. Let's go check out my best buddies. Buddy 4? 5. All right. These are all my best buddies I've got going on right now. I've got Duskmane and Complete, you've already seen. This next one, Perfect, my Gyarados, is something really special. First of all, level 50, 2016, caught October. August 26, 2016. That means it's the second month this game was out. The second month. You ready for this? 4 star. 4 star. Second month. This is before you can even check stats in game. That's how like rare, not rare. I mean, it's rare because people would just transfer Pokemon that were low CP at the time, um, not knowing whether or not it had good stats or not, whether or not it was actually viable or whatever. But there were ways to tell. You can use IV calculators online, but the way I knew is because the when you hatch a Pokemon that hatches a certain level, and because it has a certain level, if they have a certain CP, you know if they're perfect or not. And I remember it's changed now because of how they calculate CP, but at the time, if you hatched a CP 151 Magikarp, it was perfect. And I hatched this Magikarp 151 CP. I was actually at Disney World in Florida when I hatched it. I remember I was it was at Disney Resorts. No, was it resort? It was where all the water fountains are. I think it might be resorts where I hatched it specifically, and I couldn't believe it. I saw the 151, and I was like, "No way, no way! I just hatched the perfect one." And um, at the time, Magikarp was very hard to evolve because it needed 400 candy. So at Disney World, I remember like I was ignoring rides and my family to go run and catch Magikarps to evolve the perfect one I just hatched. And I did it there. I evolved it there too. I did do that. But it was a lot of fun. And I remember because Gyarados was my formerly my favorite Pokemon before Basculegion was introduced, and is still basically my second favorite Pokemon. So he's super super special to me. That I got one of my favorite Pokemon perfect so early on in the game. And after that, I've got my shiny Mega Latios. I've got my shiny Darkrai. This is my 4-star Charizard. Swagazard. I've got my Luxray. I hatched this guy right when the shiny was announced, or not announced, when released, right? So I thought he was always going to. I just was like, oh man, it's such a cool shiny, he's so rare. I got to best buddy it, you know? But I think he was actually my first best buddy too. Can we see how much I've walked? Oh wow, okay. 868 kilometers walk. Let's check with Swagazard. 474, that's quite a good amount. I bet this guy's got a bit. 201, not bad. This guy probably has a lot. Yeah, 1,973. That's a ton. Almost 2,000. I'm sure this guy's got a lot too. Okay, 1,000, 1,000. So I've walked the most with him, definitely. Smaug, my Shadow Shiny Charizard, another really cool one. My first Shadow Shiny, so it's pretty special. Walked 571 kilometers. My Lucario, this Noivern, which I basically did just because I wanted to uh, complete a level up requirement, and then Declinky, um, which I don't really know why I best buddied him, but I just did. I like him. I like Clink. I like Clang. So there's that. Um, Next up, let me get into my um, Mega Pokemon collection. Like I said, I've got 42 out of 44 released so far. We'll go by number. I do have a lot of duplicates. And if there's anything cool, I can show it off too. But yeah, I've got Venusaur, Charizard, Blastoise, Beedrill. Like I said, the only two that I'm missing are Alakazam and Slowbro. Besides that, there are unreleased ones that are Mewtwo Y, Mewtwo X, Metagross, and then Camerupt and Sharpedo. Those are the 5 unreleased megas, so obviously I don't have those. Um, but yeah, this is my mega collection. Nothing super special here. Um, I do my mega evolutions every single day, multiple times a day actually, because I like to get my mega level up with as many Pokemon as possible, so I can get more catch candy, more XP when I catch. Mega evolutions are basically the meta of this game, I'd say, because you always want to have one when you're attacking. You always want to have one when you're catching something for boosted candy chance, boosted XL candy chance, boost your friends' attacks, do more damage yourself because megas are just stronger. Megas are the best thing you can possibly do. If you're not mega evolving as much as you can, I won't say every day because some people don't have megas to evolve every single day. But let's say you have like 3 or 4 megas. As soon as the mega cooldown is done, you should be doing your free mega. Always, 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 always. So important. My next one I want to show off is my Max Pokemon collection, which is something I am. Uh, I know it's very divisive in within the community. I think I love the Max battles. I really do. Because I live in a place where I can benefit and actually play them the way they're intended to be played. I can walk out my door, walk about 15 minutes, and have a group of 20 people to play with. Um, and if I need more, I can get on the train. I can take a 30-minute train ride to Manhattan and have 100 people. For Snorlax Max Battle Day, which happened this past weekend, I met up with a group of maybe 60 people, which is 2 groups of 30. to do Snorlaxes, and we beat every single one that we did. It was a lot of fun. So for max battles, Dynamax or Gigantamax, I always play them. I have a complete collection at the moment. I haven't missed a single release. I have every single Pokemon. They don't track Dynamax Pokemon in the Pokedex for some reason, but I can show you right now that I have every single one. And I even have two shiny Gigantamax Pokemon. Shiny Gigantamax Charizard. Let's recall him right now just to show off this uh, amazing, beautiful model. I actually don't even like Charizard that much as a Pokemon. I just keep catching rare versions of him. But yeah, this is shiny Gigantamax Charizard. Super, super cool. I caught this guy basically by accident. Accident. Um, I was walking to work and there was a Gigantamax Charizard raid going on because they were released for a weekend. And I the first day I played with a group, and the second day I had work, so obviously couldn't play Pokemon. But on the way to work, there was a Charizard, and I was like, oh man, should I do this Charizard? Should I not? So I jumped in it and failed it, and I already walked out the block, and I was like, I really want to get this at least one done today. So I walked back up the block, jumped in the Charizard, stood there because I failed it again because I was like, I just want to get one done, and we beat it. And at this point, I shut off my phone and started walking to work because I was like, oh crap, I'm gonna be late. And as I'm walking the building, I turned on my phone to check it, and it was shiny. And I was like, no way, no way, because the day before I had already caught this my shiny Gigantamax Blastoise. So I basically got these guys 2 days back to back. Um, this was also by accident. I wasn't gunning for it or anything. This was the first Blastoise I did too, just so happened to be shiny. And it was back when Gigantamax was a scramble. Nobody had good counters. Everyone was getting destroyed in the battles. So getting these two super early on, and even just getting these in general, is super super awesome. Um, Besides that, I'll go down the list here to show you that I've got every single one. I've got a bunch of Gengars, got a bunch of Kinglers. Kingler's my favorite one. I wish I got the shiny G-Max Kingler, but I didn't. It's all right. Not like gonna complain about it. But when he comes back, I will be playing hard for him. I will be playing hard. Lapras, Snorlax. I've got all the birds, and here you can even see this is the one I've used my Master Ball on. Because this was a week where I was very, very busy, and actually, um, at my job, I on my break, I took my break for the max battle hour or whatever to run outside, go down the block, and do this Articuno because I that week at work I might have had like 50 or 60 hours. I had to work overtime because we had just had a different manager walk out, and the other manager was on vacation. So I was like the only person holding down the entire place, and I was like, man, I'm gonna have no free time this week. There's no way I'm gonna even get another chance to do another Articuno. So did the one. I used all my Premier Balls. I was down to one. I was like, I'm just gonna Master Ball it, and I don't regret it. I know Articuno will come back at some point, probably even soon. Um, but just for the sake of it, for having in my mind knowing I have the complete collection, I do the Master Ball at it, and I'm fine with it. And I've got Zapdos, Moltres. So far, the only one of the beasts that's been released is Raikou. Entei is this weekend, and Suicune is a couple weeks after that. But I will be definitely getting both of those. Got the Bellum line, Pidove, Drillbur. Oh man, my girlfriend has a 4-star Dynamax Excadrill. Probably I'm so jealous that she has that because Excadrill's another like it's not one of my favorite Pokemon, but I do like Excadrill a lot, and it's also just really good, and potentially can get a Mega in the future. You got Darumaka, Cryogonal. My girlfriend also has a shiny Dynamax Cryogonal, so she has some pretty good Dynamax luck too. I'm not the only one. Simeon, Grookey, Squirrel Bunny, Cinderace, got the whole everything. Toxtricity, both forms of Toxtricity, and Phalanx. And I have two Cubfoosts because I paid for the second one, and it ended up being not too good, but I'm not upset about it. So that is the Max Pokemon collection we got going on there, complete to date. Next up, I'd like to do. Okay, we'll get into my shiny Pokemon now. Let's go back up and let's type in shiny. I've got at this time 618. Um, I think that's a lot compared to hardcore players or players that are more hardcore than I am. It's not too much, right? But I have a friend that they one time I showed they're like my friend wanted. I was like, we had a lucky trade and we just wanted to do shinies, and I was like, yeah, you can go through my shinies and just basically pick one out because and they're like, what do you mean just pick one out? I'm like because I was so casual about it, and then they typed it in like you have. It's like it was probably like 500 at the time. I'm like, oh my god, you've got 500. I'm like, yeah, how many do you have? They're like 20. Um, yeah, once again, it just depends on how you play. 618 is like nothing to me. So many of them are duplicates, community days, and whatever. I'm not even. I don't even want to scroll through them all because there's just so many. Like you know, I majority of them I'd say are duplicates actually. I'm gonna go down and show off all the nice ones in a second. I just want to get my general shiny count out there to begin with. And now I'm on my list. I've got costume shinies next. So let's do costumes. Costume and shiny. And I've got 17. That's not too many. I think that's a very reasonable amount, actually. This is we'll go by order caught because that might be. I've got first up, Shade the Blastoise. I caught this guy during the first Squirtle Community Day, which was super cool. And he got re-released once for the Ed Sheeran event with the sunglasses Squirtle. Um, but still a super cool shiny that I like. I've got this Turtwig, my next one. I was actually a little upset about this because I caught this guy right before his spotlight hour with the hat, and he's the only Sinostar to have the spotlight hour with the hat like that. So I was like I don't know. I caught the more common shiny. I really don't care. Once again, this is this is my first party worm. I got a bunch more of these guys for some reason. I just kept catching them. I caught this guy 2022 for the New Year's event, and then this is my first shiny Pikachu. He's got there's two Flower Crown Pikachus. I don't know which one this is, but it's one of them. And I also have the Flower Crown Pichu as well. This is the backwards hat Krogunk. I think it's really cool that the spike just sticks up outside the hat like that. That's super cool. And Krugunk's just a cool shiny to have as well. My second shiny Pikachu, which I caught when I got back into the game 2024 for the Halloween event. Oh, this was another one I was so happy about because I love Piplup. The Halloween Piplup. Super, super happy I got this guy. I remember too, I actually was walking to work, and when I got to work, I checked my journal to see what my auto catcher did, and it actually had a shiny Piplup like this run away. And I was like, oh man, but it's fine, whatever. And then next day, the auto catcher caught this one, and it redeemed itself. So there we go. I got this bow, Bo Jigglypuff from I think the New Year's event this year. And you ready for this? One party worm, two party worm, three party worm, four party worm, four party worm, five plus the other one from this year's New Year event, or I guess last year's at this point. Um, so yeah, I don't know why I just kept catching these guys. I have so many of them now. It's kind of funny, but that's cool. And now next up, I've got 3 out of 4 of the Unova Tour shiny Pikachus. And I'm going to trade for the fourth one this weekend, which is really cool. Yeah, I'm pretty happy about all of these guys. And I'm getting the last one, which is the Hilbert hat. And the most recent one I got is this Floragato. I don't actually like Floragato that much, but I still have the shiny costume. It was just it's a new shiny released, so I'm not going to say no to it. Let's see what I got next. Background shiny Pokemon. So let's do shiny and background. And you see, I've got 7. I've got a good amount. A couple of them are traded for, but we'll get into it. This guy's also from Goat Fest 2024. This is actually how I realized that backgrounds were a thing. Because I had the Necrozma with the background, but I was so distracted by the 4-star that I didn't notice the background. And then I caught this guy, and he had the background. I'm like, what the heck? That's like, I was like, what? And then I went back and looked and saw I had a couple more, including the 4-star. This is when I actually noticed, like, oh wait, whoa, this is awesome, right? So, also Buswell only was shiny released for this event and has not been back in raids. So he's quite rare, quite fun. Also an awesome shiny and my favorite Ultra Beast because we both got muscles like that. Oh yeah. So yeah, background shiny Buswell. This is the global background for um wild area, and it even has spatial run, which is pretty nice. Unfortunately, stats are pretty bad. That's all right. Um, Still background shiny with spatial run, so it has like all those modifiers stacked on top of it, which is cool. This guy I had a trade for. This is the 2023 GoFest background, and honestly, I just wanted a Pokemon with this background because when I learned about backgrounds, I'm like, oh, I want the New York ones because you know I just have hometown pride, I guess. And I was like, if I'm going to trade somebody for this background, I want to be the best thing possible. So I found someone to um, build up friendship with and lucky trade mutually. Um, I ended up trading them, and what did I trade them? I think I traded them an armored Mewtwo for this. So it was a fair trade, I guess. But I have the 2023 background Shinra Rayquaza. It is actually my is better than my current Mega Rayquaza, but I don't want to waste the resources to Mega Evolve it because down the line I do want to try to get a better Rayquaza than even this. I've got the Pasadena Go Tour background Kyurem, which once again I had to trade somebody for. Because even though I was there, I caught a bunch of background Kyurem, Zekrom, and Reshiram. None of them were shiny. And I just wanted one of them shiny for the memory because I had so much fun on the trip and it was so special to me. So I traded somebody for it. I want to fuse it, and I also have the resources to fuse it. Um, I just I don't know which one to fuse it into yet. So I'll probably fuse it soon. But yeah, I'm just gonna hang on to it like this for now. Next up is my global background, Shiny Reshiram. Um, Once again, nothing super special. It's just the background. I was gonna trade this to my friend who was named after, but then she ended up wanting she I had a powered up Reshiram, and she said she didn't care about backgrounds, and she'd rather have the stronger one, the stronger shiny Reshiram, I should say, because we got lucky friends, and I wanted her background Cresselia, and she just wanted a shiny Reshiram. So she took the stronger one over the background, which was fine with me. It was a win-win for me. I either keep the background or keep the stronger one. I think I would have preferred to keep the background, just because I'm kind of liking the shiny background collection. Next up is this guy. This oh man, another crazy catch of mine. Um, let me get in the moment for this. If you can tell, this is the fusion background. This isn't just the black or white background. This is the double background. Um, I so how the double background works? If you caught a Curum with the white background and fused it with a Reshiram that had the black background, the fusion would have a fusion background. And if same thing with Zekrom, just the other way around. And I was like, I really, really would like to get the background Kyurem, especially because it's my favorite Pokemon, the shiny background Kyurem. And I played the whole event. I didn't get it. I got a bunch of shiny Kyurems. I got a bunch of background Kyurem, but not the background shiny. And I was leaving Central Park, walking to my job from Central Park, and it's probably 4:50. The event ends at 5. I'm doing a last two raids before I walk into my job. The two raids that I can reach from there actually. But before I clock in at 5 o'clock, I was like, I'm gonna bang out two more raids and just to see. I do one raid and it's shiny. I'm like, no way. I catch it, no background. Damn it. And then I go in the second raid, I complete it, and it's shiny. But all of a sudden, my phone gets the notification that it's too cold and the battery is dropping. It drops from 20 to 19 to 15. It's dropping so quickly. And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to lose this shiny cure because what if it has the background? I like threw my bag on the floor, got my portal charger out, plugged it in, caught the cure, and it had the background. and I was like, "There's no way I caught this at like 4:55, like almost overtime on the clock. My phone battery is dying. I'm about to be late for work. Everything was just crazy, and like it was like an adrenaline pumping shiny catch. So super happy, super proud of this guy. And the last one I've got here is the background Cresselia in question. Just something I got from Lucky Trade. Once again, I really like the New York background, so I wasn't going to say no to it. I'm not the world's biggest Cresselia fan, but I do like Cresselia. I'm not opposed to Cresselia, so it's pretty cool to have. And that's all my shiny background Pokemon. Let's get into Shadow Shinies. I've got a few of those as well. Shadow. I've got 9. My first being Smaug, which is my shiny shadow Charizard. Really happy with this guy. Of course, it's Charizard. It's a clean shiny. It's a shadow. It's very nice, and you know. Next up is my this is Sharpedo. I always forget about Sharpedo's name. This one's special to me because this was um probably one like maybe like a fourth or fifth date with my girlfriend, right? And we were sitting on a bench, like kind of doing nothing. I think I don't remember exactly what we were doing, but I was like, "Do you?" I asked her like, "Can I be annoying? Can I play Pokemon and battle this Rocket Leader really quickly?" Because like obviously I don't want to be on my phone when we're on a date, but I was like, "The Rocket Leader is here, and like I want to use my radar." She's like, "Yeah, just do it." And I got the shiny shadow from it, and I was like, "There's no way I'm like that just happened," because I felt so guilty about wanting to play for a second while we're on a date, and it was before because now we always play together. Like I said, we play if we're together, we're in a Pokemon party and we have our auto catchers on and whatever. But it was before like we were comfortable around each other, and I got the shadow shiny, and she saw it too. She was like, "No way." So it was pretty special. This is the first shadow shiny I caught in the presence of my girlfriend. So next up, we've got this guy. For a very long time, I really wanted the Shiny Shadow Beldum when he first came out, and then time after that, and then I eventually got him, but for some reason, I caught the Shiny Shadow Beldum, and I kind of lost the excitement for it. As you can tell, I haven't even evolved it into a Metagross yet. Um, and yeah, so I got it, and I'm happy with it. um, Obviously. But for some reason, I'm just not as excited as I once was. Like when I was chasing it, I was like, I really want it. And now that I have it, I have it. This is a cool one. Shadow Shiny Entei, my first Shadow Shiny Legendary. I got this around the same time I got the Shiny Gigantamax Charizard and Blastoise. So that was a good like set of hours, I guess, days for shiny. I got a second one of these Beldums. This is a funny story because after I got the Shiny Shadow Beldum, I decided to start chasing the Shiny Shadow Zigzagoon because they were in rotation together. Arlo had one and Cliff had the other. And so I was at the gym and I had an open egg space because I wanted a 12-kilometer egg. And then the balloon came down and had Arlo. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to battle Arlo for the egg. I really don't want the Beldum. Like, I don't care, but I just want to get my egg slot so I can spin Pokestops again. And I did the battle, and I was like, if this is shiny, I'm going to be upset because that means if I waited for Cliff, that would have been the shiny. Even though it's not how it works, but just psychologically, that's how it works for me. And I got the shiny Shadow Beldum again, and I was like, oh man, like I didn't even want you before, and now I've got 2 of you, you know. And here I am complaining about it because I'm stupid, but I did get the shiny Shadows of Gagoon not too long after that. So in retrospect, I'm not actually like I wasn't too upset anymore. But I really like Obstagoon, one of my favorite regional evolutions, and I was very happy to get the shiny Shadow Zigzagoon. I really want to make this guy my next best buddy. After I've been walking my Charizard for candy, he's gonna be next. After that, I've got my shiny Shadow Ho-Oh, which I got from the Shadow Raid Day. Um, Nothing too special about. Oh, actually, he does have hidden power flying, which is nice, and it's Sacred Fire, so it has like a double unique move set going on, which is pretty cool. Nothing special besides that. It has mediocre stats. Um, my girlfriend got 2 of these, 2 shiny Shadow Ho-Ohs on the Raid Day, which is ridiculous. Um, my shiny Shadow Regice, and my most recent one is my shiny Shadow Cubone. I'm going to save this guy to evolve him into a Alolan Marowak because I also do really like Alolan Marowak. So he's going to sit in the box as a Cubone for a little while. And as of right now, there are no Shadow Shinies I particularly am chasing. So I'm just doing the rocket battles as I go. I'm not really saving my radars for any specific leader. But maybe next rotation there'll be something that I'm pretty into. Also, something I should note: I have never gotten a shiny shadow from a grunt. I've only got it from leaders or from raids. I've never gotten a grunt shiny. Just an interesting statistic. Um, Next up, I have shiny babies. Maybe not be might not be as interesting to you. Let's see. What is the tag I have for this? Babies? Yes. Um, it might not be super interesting, but I think it's just something to note as an account overview, right? So I've got two Pichus, one with the message 4. I've got Azura, Budu, Cliffin, Cleffa. Why not? And my latest one is this Mantike. You know, each of these are egg exclusive shinies. Nothing else. You know, you can't catch them in the wild. You typically can't catch them from raids. They're just kind of cool that you can only hatch them. That's what I like about them. So just have a little bit more of a rare factor to them. Next up, I have shiny regionals. Region, which I've got 14 of these. I've got quite a few. I'm pretty happy with this collection, actually. Oh, show spoiler there. So we'll go down and we'll start here. This one has been traded to me by an old college roommate that I don't even like. Um, cool shiny though, very cool shiny. I don't even remember what I traded for it, but I'm sure I got a good deal. Next up is this Tauros Kangaskhan. I got this from the first Mega Raid day. Excuse me. The second Mega Raid day is actually coming up soon, but I got this guy way back. Shellos is a cool one to have. Heatmore I got from Unova. This sock I got from Unova right after I actually got these basically back to back from party challenges. Pansear from Unova, Pansear from Unova. This is actually also from Unova, even though it's not a Unova Pokemon. You know what? Oh, no, we're not missing one. Oh, Maractus from Global Unova, Buffalant, which is from Global Unova. I've got another Pavilion, and this Buffalant, not from Unova. And check out this thing. Check out this thing. You're saying, oh, it's a shiny legendary. What's so special? Caught in the wild. That's right. Wild, shiny Azelf, not from Sinotaur. This is a random wild spawn. I caught this obviously pretty recently, last month actually, and I this one. So they recently put Pokedex alerts into the game. If you don't have them, you should be using them. We can set an alert for one Pokemon whenever it spawns around you. It'll send a notification to your game. And so I said it's Azelf, obviously, because the rarest thing that can spawn around me. If you don't know, the Lake Trio, Azelf, Mesprit, Uxie, can spawn in the wild in their specific regions. Azelf spawns in North America. Mesprit spawns in Europe, and Uxie spawns in Asia, I believe. I might be wrong about those two. But I got the notification for this, and I was annoying. I was so annoying because me and my girlfriend are laying in bed. We just got back from a day out, and I'm like, we got to go get this thing. We have to go get this Azelf because I hadn't seen a wild Azelf in years. I've seen a few. I've caught a few. But I hadn't seen one in years. And I was like, yo, get out of bed. We're going. And she's like, I don't want to go. I'm like, okay, what if we drive? So we jump in the car, and we drive like basically like 4 blocks away to where this thing spawned. And there's actually a couple cars double parked around there, and people probably walking around catching it because they all saw the alert or whatever. Um, and she taps on hers, and I'm driving the car, so I'm still like trying to double park to stop so I can catch it. She taps on hers, she catches it, whatever. I tap mine, it's shiny, and I freak out. I'm like, no way did I just find this wild shiny Azelf. I never thought that would happen to me. So this is another one of my favorite catches ever. Wild shiny Azelf. Yeah. And there it is in the regional tag. I also have two shiny deerlings. I should probably add that to the regional tag, even though it's technically not a regional, but is a exclusive like time based shiny, I guess, depending on the season. But I have, I think this is spring, and no, no, wait. This is spring and this is summer, or is this? I don't really know actually. That shows you how dedicated I am. But both of these are from, yeah, this is from Go Tour LA and this is from Go Tour Global. I got both of these, so that's pretty cool. And that should be it on the shinies I want to show off. But let's get into now. We'll get into 4 stars, and I've got 81. I think that's a good amount. 4 stars are my favorite thing to collect in this game too. I think there's no like the most satisfying feeling in Pokemon Go is watching the these bars just go all the way up and the stars turn red like that. That is so satisfying to me. Even if it's not even a good Pokemon, just being able to see it be the peak statistically, performance wise. Like this is the best it will be damage wise, tanking wise, battle wise. It's just something clicks in my mind where I'm like, I like seeing that. Mm. So yeah, they're my favorite thing to collect. I love catching them. I love powering them up. And we'll go through some special ones, some rare ones. Obviously, I talked about Perfect already for 2016, my 2016 4 star. This is from 2018, also from 2018. Puff the Magic Dragon we saw. Swagazard, and now we get down to a really fun one right here. This is the Go Fest 2021 Rockstar Pikachu. He got re-released recently for Wild Area, but you can still only catch 5 of him, and you can only catch 2 of these during Go Fest 2021. So there's only been like per player account 7 of these released. You can only have ever caught 7 of these total on one account without trading, and one of mine ended up being 4 star. And of course, I had to max him out and name her Pikachu. Um, so yeah, this is my 4 star Rockstar Pikachu. And I don't know, it might be not. I like Pikachu Libre more, but it's probably my second favorite like costume Pikachu. Very very cool though. I love the jacket, love the heart tail, the black tip that only the cosplay Pikachu's have from Omega Ruby. Very very cool, and I double moved it too. Um, Probably best buddy this guy at some point, just cause. As you can tell, I'm not afraid to purify into perfects. I'm not. I am definitely some one of the people that love to save their shadows. I think shadows are better, factually. But if there's a Pokemon that is not good, like a Hitmonchan, and I can purify it into a perfect, I will do so. Because Shadow Hitmonchan is not good, Purify Hitmonchan is not good. It's not going to be used in any Go Battle Leagues. It's not going to be used in any raid attackers. So just to have another 4 star in my total, I'll purify it. I'll basically always do that if I can. Let's do by number. That might be fun. Just see what duplicates. Oh yeah, I've got this Pikachu, another 4 star costume Pikachu. This one's also pretty rare. I don't know if it's as rare as the Rockstar Pikachu, but this one's only been released a couple times for various Halloween events. It's also the only way to see Mimikyu in the game right now since it hasn't been released yet. And if in case you don't know, 402 is the perfect CP for Pikachu's from research encounters. Let's see. I got both of these guys, so kind of nice to have them both because they're buddies. This is my Mega Gengar, max the Mega level, named after my friend, whose her Pokemon is Haunter. As you can tell, I've got 3 perfect Gyarados because I'm a monster like that. I don't know. I really don't know how I've got so many of these guys. I mean, I'm not arguing. I love Gyarados, one of my favorite Pokemon. Very good Pokemon too. It's outclassed as of late by Primal Kyogre and then regular Kyogre and Shadow Kyogre. But every once in a while, I'll Mega Evolve him and use him just because I like him. If I'm being honest, all of them. Um, I got this Eevee here. I do have a Sylveon too. That's later in the Dex order. I've got Dratini and Dragonite. I've got Snubble and Gramble. This one people might get antsy about the purified hundo legendary. But truth be told, Shadow Ho is not that good. Purified Ho is better for PvP. Ho is outclassed entirely in raids as a fire and flying type attacker, and I have the Apex Shadow Ho, which I'm never not going to use over regular Shadow. So I got this guy, and I decided to purify him. Because eventually I do want to max him out. Next time Ho is in raids, I'll probably raid pretty hard for it to max it out for Master League. Because I do like I don't even play that much PvP. I kind of just like Master League, and I want to build a Master League Ho team. I've got Diva, the Gardevoir, and I have a Garda Gallade, sorry, as well. So I have that set completed, which is nice. This guy's waiting to be a Mega Pokemon. We have Diesel 10, the Purified Metagross, which people have. I have this one shine that people have actually told me like directly, like I should not have done it. But if people will tell me, "Oh, you should not have purified this." Shadow Metagross is one of the best Steel type attackers, and then I tell them that Duskmane Necrozma is so much better than Shadow Metagross that it's actually more worth it to continuously have one Duskmane Necrozma die in a raid and revive it and bring it back than it is to even switch to Shadow Metagross. So I purified this guy because also one day he's going to get a Mega, and I wanted to have him purified to get his Meteor Mash on Community Day. So or Community Day like recap in December. So that's really the only reason why I purified him because I knew I wanted Meteor Mash on the Mega Pokemon. Oh, this one's special. My only Shadow 4 star is Doof. This is another work story. This time it's after work. It's right about that same time, yeah, right around the same time where I was like super swamped at work, and I think I was leaving Times Square at like 2 a.m. And I like did not care. It was one of those days where I was just so burnt out and so tired, and I was like, I just want to play Pokemon. I just want to like catch some Pokemon. And I promise you, I don't recommend this either. I never ever would look at my phone while I was walking through Times Square at night. Um, because obviously it's just like, it's a chaotic, I won't say it's unsafe. Because I've never had anything bad happen to me there. But if you're looking down at your phone, there could be some random guy coming towards you. There could be, a scuffle on the edge of the street. Whatever. There's even this clown uh, the Times Square clown. I tell people this and they look at me like I'm crazy. There was a guy that dressed in a clown mask and a rubber muscle bodysuit that had a boombox and would just walk around Times Square at night. Not every day, but I'd seen pretty frequently. And sometimes he'd scream at himself in the reflections of windows. So you never know. He might have been hanging around too. But this night I was like, I just like had the worst shift in my life. I want to catch up on some Pokemon battles or some Pokemon. And I was walking to Times Square. I did a rocket battle. And I completed it, did not check the stats, caught the Bidoof. And I walked down to my subway station and and another thing that was killing me, my train was rerouted this night. So I walked out of my subway station and it was taped off. I had to go up around into a different subway stop. It was a total disaster of a night. And I finally sit down on the subway platform, probably 2:30 at this point, and I check the stats on the Bidoof I just caught, and it was perfect. And I was like, you know what? I may have just had a terrible day. Oh, it's New Year's Eve too, so Times Square is probably disastrous now that I'm thinking about it. But I was like, I might have just had a bad day, but at least I caught my first Shadow 4 star right there, the Doof. Um, I'm cool about it. I like would I have liked it to be a meta like usable raid attacker 4 star Shadow? Sure, but it's Bidoof. I'm not. I'm never gonna complain about Bidoof. I got both. I have two. I have Burmy and Wormadam Sandy Cloak. For some reason, I got them both Sandy. Um, this is my only 4 star. Wait, is my only 4 star non-legendary from a raid? I'll have to check. Let's see. And raid. Yeah, he's my only 4-star from a raid that's not a legendary Pokemon. Kind of interesting. Another interesting statistic. Um, oh, here's the Gallade I was talking about. This Dialga kills me. Um, just because it's 4-star and it doesn't have Roar of Time. I wish it had Roar of Time. I really hope soon there's a way to put Roar of Time on Dialgas that don't have it. But as of right now, this thing's basically a trophy Pokemon just to say I have a 4-star legendary. Um, Still cool though. I love Dialga. I like Origin Form Dialga. I know some people don't like it. They say it looks weird. I like that it looks a little bit abstract. It's not your typical, like highly marketable Pokemon design. I do enjoy that. I just hope that one day I can put the move on it. And now coming up, we have my first ever Shundo. You saw this guy already. I didn't say it was a Shundo because I wanted to save to talk about him now. Um, but yeah, Shundo Sock. Uh, I'm not even like once again a Pokemon I'm not like normally crazy about, but the fact that he's a Shundo was super special. Caught him during Unova Tour Los Angeles, and me and my girlfriend were smashing those research tasks, and like literally like one after another because there were so many spawns, and getting those research tasks done were so fast. The party challenges, like the party challenge research tasks, were the only way to catch Heatmore, Durant, Sock, and Throw. And so I got the shiny Heatmore that you just saw previously, and then caught instantly, almost instantly caught another 25 Pokemon and got the shiny Sock. And when I got the shiny, I was in a group of people. We were just hanging out talking. I was like, oh, no way, shiny Sock. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then I caught it, and we were all doing a raid, and I think I just caught my first Pokemon first. And so everyone else was still catching their Pokemon. And I checked the stats. I'll tell you what happened. I remember now. I got the sock, and everyone was sitting, and I was standing. And I dropped to, I like squatted on the ground. I was like, oh, guys, I got the shiny. Like, oh, cool, cool, cool. And then I checked the stats. It was a 4-star. And I like propelled myself backwards because I was in a squat position. And my legs shot out, and I like landed on my ass. I was like, "Holy shit! I got the shundo." So yeah, I like knocked me on my butt about the Shundo here. So yeah, I'm very so happy. The amount of times I actually saw my friends who play less than me catch their first Shundos in front of me probably happened 3 or 4 times. And to me, like that was like a test from God, where it was just like dangling in front of my face, um, saying like, "Oh, there's a Shundo, but it's not for you." So I finally caught it, and I caught it in a party with my girlfriend around a bunch of people at Unovator and at Unovator, which is always like once again my trip to California will be special. And Unova is also my favorite Pokemon region. Black and White 2 are my favorite Pokemon games. A lot of my favorite Pokemon are from Unova. So it being tied to that location, that time in my life, the people I was with, and the memories from my childhood of those games is just completely special. And I'm so glad I caught it when I did. You know, obviously it's the more shundos the better, but getting my first one with this combination of experiences was super special. I have both forms of Basculin caught during Unova Tour LA, which is super cool. Any other notable ones? This guy. Oh, both of these are really. I have another funny story. This first one, right? I was with a couple friends. We were walking in a park in my neighborhood here, actually, and we were all playing Pokemon Go, and a Tyrant spawned. And my friend Daniel catches it. Oh no, well, I think we all see it, and I'm like, I'm not even gonna catch this Tyrant. I don't need it. I'm not gonna waste the Pokeballs on it. And my friend Daniel's like, you're gonna regret it. You're gonna regret it. And he caught the Tyrant. And then we walk away, and we're sitting on a bench somewhere else in the park. And he goes back to check the stats. He's like, oh no way, that Tyrant was a 4-star. I'm like, I hate you. I hate you so much because he like somehow predicted it and rubbed it in preemptively. So I run back to where we caught the Tyrant, and it was still there, and I caught it. And it was just ridiculous that he was like, he somehow like knew it was going to be good because he was like, you're going to regret not catching this before he even knew it was a 4-star. And then years later, let's see, this is 2025, yeah. 3 years later, I'm walking this park alone, and a Tyrant just happened to spawn in the exact same spot. And to myself, I'm like, I'm not going to catch this Tyrant. I'm not going to waste my Pokeballs. And I walk a little way off, and I go to myself, no, wait. I'm having deja vu. This has happened. Last time I let a Tyrant go in the spot, it was a 4-star. And I went back and I caught it, and it was another 4-star. I was just like, I couldn't believe that it happened again. It's completely ridiculous. And so I named this one after my friend who found the first one years ago. It's insane that that happened. Oh, this is another costume 4-star, the Pumpkaboo right here. We've seen this guy with the background. We've seen this guy before. Um, I think that's it. That's all the cool ones I've got. This one's kind of another purified one. I really just wanted the purified, the 4-star Obstagoon. Once again, Obstagoon's not good in raids, not great in PvP, so the 4-star it is. We can go now to my tags, and we can see. Okay, so these are other Pokemon that I can purify to become 4-star. Uh, Poliwrath, Machamp, Piplup, and Skorupi. This Machamp's probably the only one I'm like, no, I'm not going to purify. This Piplup, though, is an interesting case. I would love to have the 4-star Empoleon slash Piplup, but but starters are ripe to get new forms in future games, to get new Mega Evolutions, new gimmicks, whatever in new games. So, in my mind, I think that it might be years from now that Piplup will get a different evolution, or Empoleon will get a regional evolution. And I think having the Shadow will be cooler than having the 4-star. So depending on whether or not what Empoleon gets in the future, this guy may never evolve. He might evolve. He might get purified. It's just kind of waiting to see what happens if Empoleon will ever get something new. And these other two, I could purify them. I don't know why I haven't. There might be a reason I'm forgetting about, so I'm not going to jump on it right now. But yeah. Okay, this is another cool tag. Zero IV, not 0-star, nothing. These two Pokemon are the least strong they can be. They are 0, 0, 0, which is kind of fun. They're rarer than 4-stars, although they're not as usable. I don't really care about them that much. I don't look for them. Um, but occasionally I'll like be checking stats on Pokemon, and they'll obviously I only have two. But yeah, I'll keep them if I find them. If I delete them, I don't really care about them because once again, they're not like 4-stars have that aspect of being the peak of like performance, and these don't. This is kind of cool trophy Pokemon. One of my friends that I play with, she texted me one day. She's like, "Look at this weakling that I have," and she sends me a picture of a 0 IV shiny Shinx, and that's like much rarer than probably anything I'll ever catch. Um, so yeah, shiny 0 IVs are rarer in terms of value, I guess, intrinsic value, than Shundo. But yeah, just two cool trophy Pokemon. And then the last part of my 4-stars that I'm going to show off is these. These are all functionally perfect Pokemon, meaning that they will have the same stat product as a perfect Pokemon when they're at level 40 or 50. That being Blissey, Darmanitan, Landorus, and Annihilate. The only one, or the only two, I guess Blissey will be usable and Landorus will be usable as a ground type attacker and whatever. And the reason this happens is because when I can't explain it that well, but if a Pokemon is missing the 2% of IV from the HP, the way that IVs are calculated into the CP makes it so that that 2% is negligible, or it doesn't matter for certain Pokemon. And these are the only Pokemon I have that happens with. So this Landorus will do the same amount of damage and be able to take the same amount of damage as a 4-star without actually being a 4-star. There's a list online. You can look up functionally 100 or functional hundo um, Pokemon Go, and it'll be the first thing that comes up on Google. It's very useful. Um, let's check what's next. I got my bottle cap tab. Not really want to show this off right now. Um, I want to show off next. I don't. Oh, my level 50s. I've skipped that, haven't I? Yes. Okay, level 50 Pokemon. These are all the Pokemon powered to level 50, obviously. I've got 15. I don't power up these level 50 too often, just because of the Stardust candy investment. Um, Typically, I save it for 4 stars or for basically like peak rate attackers or 98%. This guy's 98 and he's level 50. This guy is 90, what was this? 94%. But I just like Kyurem so much that I powered it up, maxed it out. I think this is also 98% and it's in here. And this is also 98% is in here. So those are the only four that are I powered up level 50 without being 4 star. I think I also want to power up my 98% Kyogre. That's the only other one I really have plans for that's not a 4 star at the moment. And obviously the strongest is going to be the Curums because those are just broken CP wise. Next up, I've got my quest Pokemon. So all the Pokemon I've gotten, not from like not all the Pokemon I got from quests, but all of like the end of research mythical legendary Pokemon. We can go by order caught for this one. So I've got the Mew, Celebi, Victini, Jirachi. This is the first release for Shiny Celebi during the I think it was called Secrets of the Jungle for the movie. So this is yeah, so like this is before it was re-released for Masterwork. This was the first time it was released. I've got the first Meloetta. I've got this is the first Hoopa. Um, yeah, special research from 2021. Before you can even transform it back and forth, this was the only one you can transform. I've got my Zarude. This is the Melton from the Let's Go quest line. I just kept it just cause, even though Melton's not like super rare, and this one isn't good either. Um, I just kept it because I like Melton. I've got this is the Johto Tour Celebi with Magical Leaf. I've got one Shaman, two Shaman, three Shaman. I don't know how I have all these Shaman. I'm gonna be honest with you. Go Fest 2022, special research, and also special research. I don't know why they released so many Shaman. This is my Zygarde. We've already seen him. This is my Naganadel. I got Poipole from 2024 Go Fest. Now we're getting to a good one. This is my Shiny Mew from the Masterwork. The second time they released it, I missed out on it the first time, which is whatever. Um, and then I've got my Mega Diancie, my Marshadow from 2024 Go Fest, Shiny Jirachi from the Masterwork, Shiny Shaman from the Masterwork. This is the Victini from the Go Pass from Unovator. This is both my Cubfoos. And that's about it for research Pokemon. Next up, I've got, oh, I guess it's already part of this, technic or a little bit. My Masterwork collection right here. I don't know why these two aren't in the research tag. I'll do that later. But these are all the Masterwork Pokemon I've got so far. I'm still working on getting the Masterwork Shiny Meloetta. That's the only one I'm missing from here. And my Unknown collection. Obviously, Unknowns come in many shapes and sizes of the alphabet. And I've got, I have 18 of them. My medal actually says 19, meaning I've deleted one. So I'm missing one. I don't actually know which one it is because I forgot to go back and check before this. But I've got 18 of 28 unknowns right now, which is cool. I've got two shinies sitting somewhere as well. Um, Next up, I've got my Enigma Pokemon collection. These were special background Pokemon. Right now, the background is glitched and it only shows a black background. But these were all special background Pokemon released for Unovator, which, if you don't know, these were all of N's Pokemon that you can go back and catch using the Memory Link feature of Black and White 2, which I thought was just a super, super nice callback to that game. Very, nice thing for loyal players like myself, so I had to catch all of them. Yeah. Next up, I've got my Scatterbugs. And like I said, I used to have every single scatterbug, and somehow I accidentally deleted a handful of them. I'm not exactly sure how that happened, but I'll work that collection back up. And the last thing I think I want to show off is my others tab, which is basically just a bunch of other cool Pokemon that didn't fit any of the pre-existing categories. Um, First up is this uh, Golbat, which is named Jared. But if you look on the like this screen, he actually has like I don't know what type of code you would call this, but he has code in his name because when the game first came out, you used to be able to make Pokemon's names bold or italics if you used these coding prompts or whatever. You can't actually use these characters when you name your Pokemon anymore. So it's a little bit rare. I used to have more like this, but once again, over time they just vanished and got deleted or transferred or whatever. I have every single Galarian bird, not shiny. Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres. I have two Armored Mewtwo's. Oh, I have one shiny unknown. Maybe I have a second one somewhere. This is my earliest Pokemon in my collection. This is my first 10 kilometer egg that I hatched. And everything before this, once again, it just kind of got eroded away with my account. You know, I delete things, and like my first starter got mixed up and deleted one day, unfortunately. So this is the earliest thing I got in my account, my Steelix. I got shiny Smeargle, shiny Melodic that my girlfriend traded to me when we first started going out because she didn't think she was going to evolve it. She actually regrets trading this to me now because she does play a lot. Shiny Casserum's a little rare. Shiny Spiritom's a little rare. Lucario's shiny Lucario's a little rare. I caught this one on my birthday too. Birthday present. I've got a couple of Rotom forms. All my shiny Azelfs. This is a Steel Chair Zoroark, which there is a glitch with an auto catcher where you can get Zoroarks to weigh a fuck ton. So this is a 10-ton Zoroark. He's totally gonna sweep any showcases I put him into. And then let's see, I got my shiny Zoroark, which is a little rare. My shiny Bisharp, which is a little rare. My girlfriend also traded that to me. Shiny Charcadet, which I know is pretty sought after right now. But I'm not too crazy about Charcadet or its evolutions actually. So hopefully I can trade this to somebody who will appreciate it more. And this is a Dustmane Lycanroc. Yeah, that's all my cool Pokemon. I'm gonna sign it off here since we've run a little bit long already, almost pushing 2 hours. But hopefully I can check back in and make more videos like this in the future. I don't know what type of audience this will reach, but if you made it to the end and you liked it and you have anything to say, you can comment your rarest Pokemon, comment your thoughts, or comment even some goals you have for Pokemon Go. With that being said, I will sign off here and see you guys next time.